that in thinking about asking you that question, um, I felt really uncomfortable. It's too simple a question. Surely I can find the answer by myself. I don't want to take up time and space. And that just cascaded into, um, that whole big thing. Um, not feeling that I have the right to take the space. Sometimes people will talk uh, and ask or just sort of make comments in a conversational way, and I'll be like, wow, how can they put their hand up, take the space to just say something that is, just not important. And um so now that you've done this exercise, I'm curious to see for myself um, what happens. But I did sit with the feeling earlier, and this is what often happens. I sit with it, and nothing shifts.
Mhm.
I get a sense of a little girl who's feeling small and not wanting to rock the boat, and then I will say, well, you know, is there anything you want to say? And if not, I'm here to listen, and maybe next time. Um, but um, so I was going to stop it at that and ask you, what do you have any thoughts, but this offering of this meditation seems like something that could be really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I
no,
just,
yeah, yeah, you go
yeah,
first. You don't
uh,
even have to do it quickly.
well, thank you. No, I was just gonna say that's first of all, I love that you had that experience with it because it's exactly what I was, hoping for. So wonderful. When you had that feeling, like, or the feeling now of those questions coming up of should I take up space? Is this not okay? Exactly what we just did, feeling those sensations in the body without the stories about how you're not worthy of doing it or any of that, because there's just feeling those sensations and seeing how do you know that these sensations now aren't a feeling of utter contentment. It's totally okay for them to be there. See what happens with that. But this idea that the little girl, we do like the reparenting stuff and we use it, but with the caveat of, again, not making stories and histories out of it. So it's a very useful sort of metaphorical practice of getting in touch with things that we otherwise might not be in touch with right now, and getting in touch with the ability to be loving and compassionate towards our experience in a way that as adults we often have a block about. It's much easier to feel that sort of um, love and compassion for an image of ourselves when we're 5 years old, as opposed to when we are whatever age we currently are. And so it can be a really useful way of getting to that, as long as we take it at that kind of level where we are using it as a tool without creating a whole narrative out of it.
So I'm just not clear. So are you saying that this new practice can be a way of getting in touch with that, or are you talking about the reparenting that you've talked about before?
Sorry, yeah. So I'm saying that the reparenting is another way of getting to this same sort of a thing. So we're recognizing, like, when we're doing the reparenting, we're noticing that there's a feeling here which feels unworthy. Um, there's all sorts of contractions in the body. There's something that feels really icky. And so we sit with that and we give that love and compassion, and we recognize that this is something that I've been feeling for a long time. And this is the aversion to this feeling is what's really driving my behavior now about not speaking up and asking a question that I really
Mm.
want to ask, because there's something here that feels really uncomfortable when I want to express myself or take up space or something. And so the
Right.
repainting is a really good, um, it's a good tool to allow us to have that space and love and compassion for the experience that we're having right now, and the fact that, it's like saying, like, it's okay that I feel uncomfortable right now. It's
mm,
okay that
mm,
that I don't feel worthy. And then it's reinforcing the sense of you are worthy, you're loved, all of that. The practice that we just did is a different way of going about that same sort of thing, where you just recognize that that sensation of unworthiness, that feeling of, nope, can't do that. Take all of that, all of the stories off of it, all of the ideas that this is something you've experienced before and you know what it is. Just sit with that feeling and just allow that to be there, and notice, while asking, like, how do I know that this isn't contentment? How do I know that this isn't happiness? And then just allowing that to kind of resolve itself in the moment, to see that actually everything that I was putting on that was a thought that's not any more true. Like, you had the bravery to come forth and ask your question, even though you had something that was originally coming up saying not to do it. So
mhm,
that original "don't do it, I'm not worthy of asking a question," that is not a true thought. And this is
Mm.
just a way of getting down to the sensations, which are really the core of the resistance, without any of those thoughts being able to intervene.
I
Mm.
just wonder though, because I haven't done reparenting to, just little snippets of, it's okay, I'm here for you. Like, and I just wonder if doing this today's meditation could, for me, be a distraction. So I'm not really getting in touch with her. I'm not really doing that. Um, I,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I'm thinking that a side thing that is part of it as well, where you can incorporate what Todd just talked about, is when you have the experience um, of somebody, you're in a group and somebody's saying something, and you feel you sit and think, well, they're just stating things. They're not asking something. They're just stating things. Why take up time when you just want to state things? When that happens, then know that what you are sitting and saying about them is a projection of you. You're talking about yourself in your bubble. You would never raise your hand and just take up time and sit and state things. There
right.
needs to be compassion towards that, because there's a little girl in you, there's a little part in you that once had that need to just be seen. A lot
Mm,
of times when they come up and they share, it's because partly they have a need to be seen. They have the need of knowing that there is somewhere where what I'm experiencing, what I'm sharing with what I'm experiencing, it is valid. There's
mm,
someone out there that find this interesting. There's someone out there that resonates with what I'm saying. That feeling of belonging is a feeling that all of us need and all of us have needed as children. And if we haven't been met with that, we cannot be in a space where other people do that. So we start to resent people for doing that or feeling judgmental towards them doing that. What I'm saying is, with a huge heart from here, see if I want to do it here.
No, just
Huge heart.
you're on a PC, it won't do it.
With a lot of heart from here, that just, whenever that happens, whenever you judge other people, know that there's a little part of you that is judging you for not doing exactly what they're doing. So reparent yourself in the way, okay, right now I feel judgmental. Is this really judgmental? Am I really a judgmental person? Or is there something in me that is not met? And how can I then meet that? How can I then, during my everyday life, acknowledge myself, see myself, give myself reassurance in what I'm doing, and just acknowledge the space that I'm taking up here in the world? Because that feeling all of us have had as children, all of us have had that need.
yeah, that's really resonating.
Good,
Yeah, amazing.
good.
And the one that we just did can be a really good, just like,
Mm.
30-second practice
Yes.
throughout the day. So when you don't
Just
have
check
time to
in.
do, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. When you don't have time to do a whole reparenting thing or go into any of that, it's just checking in that moment of, I'm sitting watching TV and something just, I'm not even aware that something feels uncomfortable in the body. And it's like checking, oh yeah, there's like a real feeling of something's just not right here. I can't place it. Okay, how do I know that that feeling is not contentment or happiness? And then just allow that to work its way out, because that coloration, even though you haven't been consciously aware of it, is still operating under the, there's still something that feels,
Yeah. And it's not bypassing.
yeah.
It's not feeling, somebody has, yelled at you and are angry at you and you feel so overwhelmed and sad. It's not about you bypassing and going like, oh, this is contentment. It's really just noticing what hooks do we have into a story and into a sensory experience, and can I be in a body with that sensory experience that is really uncomfortable right now? Could the sensory experience be about something else than what I think it is? So it's the opposite of bypassing. I just
Yeah.
really wanted to emphasize
Thank you.
that.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you for this safe space to be able to ask a question that didn't feel comfortable.
Of course.
Absolutely. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
being brave of doing it.
Yeah.